Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Beyond Social Media Show. I'm BL Achman here with my co-host David Erickson. And you can find David at D. Erickson on Twitter. You can find him at, let me get this right, estrategytrends.com blog.
Trends.estrategy.com, but you can just search for eStrategy Trends, or you can find me at e-strategyblog.com.
And one of these weeks I'll get that straight. I'll have to write that down. I'm sorry, Dave. You can find him on Google+, you can find him on LinkedIn, you can find him on YouTube, and of course you can find him here every Saturday at 12:30. And I'm BL Achman. On Twitter I am at What's Next. I blog at What's Next blog. I write for Ad Age. I am on Google+, and I run maximum-plus.com for all things Google+. And it is our tradition to cover the best and the worst in digital communications this week. And I always get to start off with the worst, and the worst is pretty bad this week. But I think that the role of social media in covering the protests that have sprung up across the country has been pretty extraordinary. And I just checked, and in the last hour, there were 4.3 thousand tweets with the hashtag Eric Garner and 3.9 thousand in the last hour with the hashtag I Can't Breathe. And, you know, this was not something that was available until quite recently to absolutely everybody, and we are having our say. And among the worst things that happened is that 4 rabbis were arrested in New York City while leading Eric Garner protesters in the Kaddish, which is the prayer for mourners. And they were arrested during protests against police brutality and racial injustice on Thursday night, along with more than 200 other people taken into custody throughout the city. The protests began immediately after the decision not to indict Officer Daniel Panatello for the murder of Eric Garner. The rabbis were held overnight and then released, and you know, despite the sleepless night, they said they'd be right back out there on the street, and they said that their religious act is to highlight the dignity of every single human being. And this is the worst thing that's happened in a very long time, and social media is right there, and I think that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, well, I mean, the story obviously is horrible, and it's compounded by the continuing stories of starting with Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown, and now this. And you know, the difference. The story deserves to be in bad, but there's the enormously beneficial side of the communications infrastructure we have to let everybody know what's going on.
I have that in the best as well.
Yep.
So
we can follow what everybody's saying about it, and we have video, right? We have video that it's not just a matter of differing opinions, who's saying what. There's video that shows exactly what happened in this case.
Well, that's the instance here, is that there is no doubt about what happened. The man was murdered in cold blood. There is no doubt about it. But on a much lighter note, from the You Can't Make This Shit Up department, Steve Hall on Ad Rants always finds these things that crack me up, and he had a photograph that I put on the Beyond Social Media Show YouTube Google Plus page, and along the side of a bus, the Estella Insurance company in Miami has a picture of legs, and a woman's legs, and a pair of shorts dropped to her ankles, and the headline is "No one drops them like we do. Lowest price is guaranteed." And you know, that's about as tasteless as you can get. And you know, freedom of speech unfortunately encourages a lot of stupidity and insensitivity, and so that's what we got here. So then the guy who created this ad, and I'm quite sure it was a guy, responded, and he said, We at Estella Insurance value your opinion and are concerned by your response to our current campaign. We feel that we are using humorous visuals to effectively convey a message that was not meant to be disrespectful or offensive in any way. Moreover, you may not have seen our billboard in the campaign, which showcases a man's trousers by his ankles. We hope that we hope that you can find the humor in what we're trying to accomplish and not interpret the campaign as degrading, which was never our intention.
Well, I mean, regardless of gender, right? It has nothing to do with insurance. It has nothing at all to do with insurance. Sex doesn't sell. This is just old school. It's so old school.
It's like a fourth grade fart joke, you know? I mean, it's just... Oh my God. But the fact that the guy defended it was my favorite part. So what did you find this week, Dave?
A cautionary tale. The FTC is reminding agencies that you can't ask your employees to casually tweet nice things about your clients without them actually disclosing that they are clients. It's a good lesson to learn, right? Last week, the FTC in Deutsch LA reached a settlement regarding the agency reportedly using social media to promote a client's work without disclosing the bias. In 2012, Deutsch LA promoted the PlayStation Vita using a Twitter campaign and asked users to tweet positive things about the gaming device using the hashtag GameChanger. An assistant account executive sent a company-wide email to the agency encouraging employees to do the same. So this is almost an innocent mistake. This executive probably was not aware of, you know, you need to, or failed to mention or forgot to mention you need to disclose that they're a client. But nevertheless, it happened, and many employees obliged and used their personal Twitter accounts to say nice things about the gaming device. And you know, we need to be clear as agency people, as people working on behalf of our clients, when we promote their stuff, we need to be clear and transparent that we are in fact talking about a client. I use in Twitter, you know, there's only 440 characters you can deal with, so I use a parentheses with a C inside it and close parentheses to disclose that when I don't have enough space. When I do have enough space, I'll use hashtag client just to disclose that. But it's pretty easy to do. You just got to remember to do it. You got to be mindful of that.
Well, this is not new. They were just reminding them, but you know, this has been for many years, and you know, I have to say that it's hard to remember all the time, but it's crucial, and so many companies ask their employees to do that. You know, I worked at a big agency, and there was a please tweet about, and they would send you suggested tweets. How about tweeting this about our client and that about our client? And I, being the managing director of emerging media, would say, don't forget hashtag client. You need it on every post, you know. But then the question is, like, do we have to have hashtag prospect when we say nice things about a prospect? I mean, you know, how far does this go?
Yeah, sure. There are subtleties to this, but yeah. But I do think, I mean, on behalf of clients especially, there's the credibility question of yourself individually as well as your client as well. When somebody points out, hey, you're talking about a client and you haven't disclosed that, you're destroying both sides' credibility. So I think it's in everybody's interest to disclose that relationship. Absolutely,
but it's interesting when they pick out, you know, one instance to highlight, and
they need to make an example of people.
Just be glad it wasn't us.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought belonged in the worst category was the rumor that circulated around Facebook that about copyright issues, and it caused Facebook, you know, one of those things that said please share with everybody, and it was misinformation, and it was saying that Facebook owns the copyright in to everything that you post, and Facebook had to say, you know, this is false, and anybody who uses Facebook owns and controls the content and information they post as stated in our terms. I'm not 100% convinced about that, but Snopes already debunked it and said, you know, stop using these meaningless I hereby declare status updates, because what we need to do right now is go back to talking about what you had for lunch.
More importantly.
So, does that bring us to good news, I hope?
It does, yes. So,
Okay.
an oldie but a goodie. Psy's Gangnam Style viral video broke YouTube.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible. So popular, it broke YouTube. The view counter on the video sharing site originally used a 32-bit integer, meaning the maximum number of views it could record was 2,147,483,647 views. I'm
And they
working
have
on
more
getting a
than
video
that.
up to that number.
They
But
had more
Gangnam
than that.
Style's video broke that. It went over that limit, and so Google issued a statement saying, "We never thought a video would be watched in numbers greater than 32-bit integer, but that was before we met Psy. Gangnam Style has been viewed so many times we had to upgrade to a 64-bit integer. That means we've got 9.2 billion, or no, more, much. I don't. There's so many numbers in here I can't even
I
decipher
can't
what
read
it
them
is."
either. Sorry, math is not my best subject. So I had a fun one. United Wildlife and Angry Birds teamed up to save the penguin. That's not misspelled. It's some sort of an anteater. And the Duke of Cambridge is the head of the organization and of United Wildlife. And so he made a video inviting people to play the game, and somehow the game contributes to the welfare of elephants and tigers. But the penguin is this adorable little thing, like looks like an armadillo and an anteater got together, and apparently their becoming extinct is affecting the welfare of elephants and other large mammals. And so he was encouraging us to support the penguin. It's adorable.
Wow. Panguin. How do you spell that?
Panguin. It's adorable.
Who knew?
We'll put the link to the video. Just a little housekeeping. Thanks. I see people are already making comments, and if you would like to make a comment or ask a question, we will do our best to answer them. Coach Moore says, good morning, Coach Moore. Coach Moore says, comment tracker, there you go. That copyright, I think you means nothing to Facebook. They just don't keep on coming, legal or not. Well, I think you're right. I have questions about it. Okay, more good news?
More good news, yeah. So another oldie but goodie. There's a new Dumb Ways to Die tablet game that hit the market. And so we've talked about Dumb Ways to Die before. The video from Australian Trains, it's an Australian Trains PSA safety video. And they turned it into, it went mobile, went viral. It's a cute little animated thing showing these animated characters dying in horrible ways, set to a catchy tune and clever lyrics and everything about dumb ways to die. The video went viral. They turned it into a mobile game. The iPhone app hit #1 in 53 markets, and it's become a top iPad app in 81 countries, according to App Annie, which is an app analytics company that actually tracks this stuff as well. So they have Dumb Ways to Die 2, The Games. Dumb Ways to Die 2, The Games. Characters risk their lives at sporting events like landmine curling, running with scissors, killer whale dentistry, licking a freezing pole, and Yeti grooming. So there's what does that have to do with trains? There's reminders about railway safety that pop out throughout the game.
That's one of the most
you can stop characters from jumping onto the tracks to grab dropped phones, and you can push a button to pledge to be safer on trains. So it's a nice extension of the original campaign and an example of how you can really extend something that's working. So.
Well, I think that's a really important point, because so often, companies have something that's really a big hit and really clever, and they only use it once. And, I mean, when you have something that's working and people love it as much as they do this campaign, it's brilliant to keep it going. And good morning, William Rock. He says he just wanted to say hello to everybody, and we're glad you're here. So I'm sorry, but I'm just so caught up in the protests that are happening, and I have this in the best of social media. I looked at Sonar Solo on bottlenose, and protesters in Tokyo are now standing with Americans over Eric Garner. And Sonar Solar, if you're not familiar with it, allows you to search any topic to find the trends and the influencers on any subject in real time. And it visualizes a map, and it shows you what the center is, and it shows you what the spokes of the wheel are, and it combines data mining, trend intelligence, advanced sentiment analysis of the entire world's social media chatter, and it's a quite remarkable free tool from Bottlenose, which is one of the most absolutely incredible analysis tools you'll ever see. So by all means, take a look at it when we link to it. And Dave, you got a lot more news, so.
I do. So, I mean, the protests that we've been seeing on social, it is profound. It is profound in terms of creating more empathy, right? Because before we didn't have the personal stories of people telling their stories about how they relate to this story and this tragedy and these tragedies, and now we can see them even if we're not, even if we're not directly have a direct relationship with them. So it's not. It's easy to understate sometimes the power of social media, but this is an example where it can't be understated. But from the tragic to the joyful, there is this is a common element in videos that go viral and content that goes viral is joy. The notion of joy. And there's a video that has gone viral about an adorable little girl that is dancing, starts a dance party on a New York City subway platform. Mashable picked up this story, that's where I found it. The band Coyote and Crow was busking at the Bedford Avenue station in Brooklyn. And there was a little girl who just couldn't resist their cover of Me and My Uncle by the Grateful Dead, and she started dancing, and soon others joined in, and sure enough, there was someone from the band that captured that joy on their phone. It's just adorable. It's wonderful to see not just the adorable little girl dancing, but everyone joining in and having such a great time, right? The video was uploaded to YouTube on December 4. To date, it has 1.3 million views. 4,500 likes, 555 comments, and it's you can't resist it after you see it. It's just joyful.
It really is adorable. I wish I'd been there.
Exactly.
I have seen things like that happen in the subway on occasion, and you just it just makes you so happy that you live here.
So are we good? Are we good with the good stuff? Want to go on the shiny new stuff?
Absolutely. I noticed that there's a new CAPTCHA from Google. Apparently, robots have figured out how to fill out the old CAPTCHA. So the question, "Are you a robot?" You have to answer that question, and the new CAPTCHA shows you things like there'll be 6 pictures, and it'll say, which one of these don't fit? And there'll be like pictures of cats and then a picture of an elephant, and a robot can't at this point figure that one out. So you're going to start to see that because WordPress has picked it up and a few other sites have already picked it up. So
and not too soon because the old CAPTCHA I couldn't stand. I get squinting trying to figure out what those letters and numbers are with the scratches in between. So this is a much easier way for us humans to decipher what it is.
Well, it is, but the amazing part is that robots could do it better than us. I could never. I was always like pushing. Then I had to listen to it, and come on, just let me have what I want to hear. Let me what I'm trying to find, and it just didn't. So I also found a wonderful new keyword suggestions tool that's free. It's called SerpStat. And it's meant for content marketers as well as SEO people. And in addition to, it's an interesting way that it works. In addition to parsing suggestions, it gives you questions and clues and makes other suggestions that are quite different than anything I've really seen before. So I highly recommend you take a look at it. I don't know what their business model is, but right now it's free.
Cool. Very cool. I'll definitely try that out.
You know, I was thinking, Dave, like, we have so many of these apps that we've covered and shiny new objects. I'm going to do a year-end review of them because they kind of get lost in the shuffle. So I'm going to spend some time put that together.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So I've got another photo app. I talk a lot about photo apps, but I keep finding better ones. So so here you go. ProShot photo app. It gives you a DSLR-like features on your iPhone or Windows phone. It doesn't apparently there is not one for Android, but you get the ability to, you can have auto, manual, or 2 customizable modes. You have full control over exposure, ISO, shutter speed, and white balance. And given that it's, you know, a mobile phone,
in
not
your
an
phone
actual camera.
It gives you that in your phone camera?
These are.
Wow.
In your yes, on your phone camera. So it's simulations, right? It's not the actual, because they mechanically work differently, but it is simulating those features on your iPhone. So it has burst, timer, time lapse, video modes, all with full manual controls. Even during the video recording, you can zoom with one finger up to 50 times. The app is only $1.99. So far, so good. I like what I've seen. So so that's a cool one. And then the other one that I got is called Quards, Q-U-A-R-D-S. It's a responsive design WordPress plugin, and it has pre-designed cards and components that you can drop in according to your storytelling needs. So it's an indication. It's a
Losing your sound, Dave. I don't know why.
functionality of publishing content to communication needs. Am I here? to communication needs. The plugin.
What a good idea that is. That's a really good idea.
Or there's agency pricing at $10.89. Yep.
I have one more, and I think this was a very clever move on the part of Pinterest. They did the Pinterest 2014 gift guide, and they did it by category, and it's really very clever. They have gifts for everybody. A lot of them are sponsored, but some of them are not. And what a good way to use Pinterest. You can add to the boards. So
absolutely.
So Hart says, let me see if I can make this work. Using reCAPTCHA is probably helping Google AI learn how to recognize what's in a picture. Yeah, that probably is true, and I think that that's definitely something that we're going to see much more of as we go along. And I keep waiting, you know, for my phone to be able to hold my phone up to a leaf on a tree and have it tell me what kind of tree it is. That's supposed to be coming. So, Dave, I think that you have another one, and I have to have that photo app right away. I have like 168 apps on my phone, but this will be 169. Gotta have it. And most of mine are photo apps like yours. Because I mean I really just I can't get over really how, yeah, Dave is breaking up. I know. I can't get over how absolutely wonderful the cameras have gotten on phones, and you know I'm sort of glad I don't sell single lens reflex cameras at this point in time. But can you want to bring us up to date on projects?
Sure will. Sure will. So quickly, project.
Oh, Dave, you're breaking up. Let me do it.
An article on Vertical Response blog recently. Regarding social customer service essentials during the holidays. It's a great read. We'll include the links in the show notes. A bunch of good advice. I expanded my thoughts on my company's success at Creative PR blog. But the number one reason social customer service is essential during the holidays is that there are far more people paying attention to you during the holidays. So it's not just answering individuals' customer service issues. So that said, it should be important throughout the year, right? It should be just a standard operating procedure throughout the year. Our website has been upgraded. Our logo was redesigned. We have new banners. We have new website design, and we're working towards iTunes.
That's because you did all that work, Dave.
Well,
oh, Dave, you're breaking up big time.
Yeah. We're close to submitting the podcast to iTunes. We will announce in promoting it once we do launch it on iTunes. So we're going to ask you, be ready. We're going to ask you to leave your reviews and everything on iTunes once we got it there. So there's that.
And the reason we're going to do that is because we have a certain amount of time to get into the new and notable section on iTunes so that we can start to build an audience for the podcast there. So we will ask you for your help and count on you to provide it. And I'm really sorry to say that you're breaking up a lot, Dave, but this does bring us to the daily numbers, which I hope we're going to be able to hear.
Yeah, I do too. I'm having the same problem with you, BL. I think it might have something to do with the fact we're using Firefox this time. So anyway, daily numbers. This is from Folio. Survey of U.S. publishing professionals. So these are people who have been publishing content content online. Email marketing challenges according to publishing professionals. Top challenge is list growth at 54%. List growth. Next is dynamic content and personalization, 42%. Not very surprised with that. List maintenance, 41%. So there's some fun content are having challenges with as far as email marketing is concerned. Mobile optimization, 33% say that. Analytics, 33% say that. Segmentation, 30% cite that. Content automation. Some of these other things are not that surprising given how relatively new content marketing is, but email marketing is a relatively mature discipline as far as online communications is concerned, so it sort of surprises me that list growth tops that list, but it says something about if every relatively new medium and these challenges are going to persist for some time as more
Uh-oh, we lost Dave altogether. Yeah, well, sorry about that. I guess I'll take us out. Coach Moore just made a comment to us here saying, hey, Beyond Social Media Show, if cameras are getting better, do we trust carriers like AT&T Mobile about activating the front camera at a bad time? I don't know that they have control of that. They've lost Dave. Okay, well, I will tell you that, I hope he'll be back. I will tell you that later today we will timestamp the video, and it will be on YouTube and on our blog, the BeyondSocialMediaShow.com blog, and on our Google Plus page. Dave and I will be back next Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you'll be able to join us. Meanwhile, wishing you a great week, and you can find me online. I'm at What's Next on Twitter. My blog is what'snextblog.com, and I'm CEO of Maximum-Plus.com for all things Google+. Dave is D. Erickson on Twitter. He has eStrategyblog.com and his Trends blog as well. He's on YouTube with scores of videos, and that's eStrategy TV. And of course, you'll find both of us on the BeyondSocialMediaShow.com blog. See you next week.